Hey guys, it's Cole and Kelly. I hope you guys are enjoying this beautiful weather we've been having in the Houston area. It is time for our monthly market update.
So thanks for joining us again this week. Today we're talking about October and how the month of October went for the Houston real estate market and how it compared to last year. Well, this is the 5th consecutive month of Houston home sales increasing.
I believe it.
And it's actually increased by 29% this time. So
That's
the
awesome.
number of home selling is increasing, but not only that, the average sales price is increasing. It's actually increased by 12.4%.
Wow.
So it's gone up as well. It's now at around $335,000 is the average sales price, and this is a historical high for the month of October.
Houston real estate continues to appreciate. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, a couple things. The days on market have decreased. So that's great. We want a lot of things to increase. We don't want that to increase. It went down from last year from 59 days on market to only 47 days on market to sell the average property. So that is awesome. And we're seeing that right now. This week we placed an offer in a property that for our clients that was over $700,000. Last year they had the same house listed and it expired. They could not get the house sold. This year there were 3 offers on that same property. Same property, different year.
We're seeing it all over price points. You know, not just
over.
the ones in the 200,000s. It's everywhere. We're
Yeah.
seeing multiple offers, low days on market, over asking.
Absolutely. And then the last but not least, well, I guess it's not last on today's video, is our months of inventory. So this kind of signifies the demand that is out there in the market. Nationally, it's at a 2.5 months of inventory. Locally, not too far behind that, 2.4 months of inventory. It has not been that low since December 2014. So that, I mean, what that means is if we could not list any more houses, if no more properties came to the Houston market as active in 2.4 months, all the properties would be sold in Houston. So that's huge. That means for our sellers and those that we're assisting to sell their property, there has never been this less of an amount of competition for your property.
Right. So it's a great time for sellers in terms of the price of the home, in terms of the demand for the home. The interest rates are still at an extreme low, and that's one of the reasons that we're seeing this increase.
It's also a great thing for the second negotiation in every transaction, which is repair request. There's not a lot to choose from for potential buyers, so we try to make it work as best we can. But the seller usually loses some leverage after the property goes under contract. Not necessarily the case so much anymore is what we're finding.
If they're having multiple offers, they can always go to a different offer.
Right.
So the other thing we wanted to chat about was forbearance. We do have buyers out there that are like, well, let's just wait and potentially see if there's going to be foreclosures in the coming future, and maybe we'll be able to get a good deal on a property. And just to kind of share a little bit more, I have a graphic that I'm putting up there right now, and they were expecting to have forbearance to be affected about 30% of homeowners, but really it only affected about 8.6% of homeowners, and now it's actually gone down in the past several months to about 5.67%. So the fact that the forbearances have not truly affected as many people as they expected is a good thing for our market.
It is. I also want you to be able to pause the video at this moment after we define what forbearance is. Sometimes it's labeled a lot of different things, but I do want to make something very, very clear. Forbearance is not a luxury. It is not something that you can take advantage of because it seems like 2020 the world started falling apart. It's not something that your lender, your mortgage broker is saying, oh, well, this is our contribution to making things better. It is not. A forbearance is basically your lender saying, hey, listen, you don't have to make payments for 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. They all have their different agreements, but at the same time, that money, every single cent of it with some interest will be due. and that could be at the end of that 3-month, 4-month, 6-month period, or it could be bundled and applied to your loan. So your loan would be going up substantially, probably about 150, 200 bucks, depending on the price point of that loan every month. So it is not something that, if at all costs, I would encourage, our sellers and buyers, do not go into forbearance unless you absolutely have to, because we have seen firsthand a lot of sellers have wanted to sell, and now it's really not an option for them to sell because they took the road of forbearance, and now they don't have the equity they thought they did in their property. Whereas before, we could have sold their property and they would have had a nice chunk of change. Now it's not the case.
So definitely get with your lender on that. They're going to have a lot more details specifically for you guys.
And get with us.
Yeah.
Your lender it's a benefit to them, for you to go into forbearance at times, because that product is going to add a little bit more interest to their pocketbooks. For us, we'll be able to run the numbers and let you know whether it would be beneficial for you or not. Most of the time, it's not.
So yeah, just definitely let us know if that has affected you. Please reach out to us. We'll be happy to run the numbers and help you guys out with that. But getting back to the issue of potential foreclosures in the future, the statistics say that because the prices of the homes have risen, most people have at least, actually 91% of homeowners have at least 11% equity in their property. So the fact is that a lot of people will still be able to sell their homes. There are some people that may not be able, but most people will still be able to sell their homes without having to go into foreclosure due to the forbearance. So that's why we're not in fear of this crazy market turn, a bubble, or a ton of foreclosures all of a sudden, because we just know by the statistics it's very different than the last turn down that we had.
And we've had a lot of people that are looking or interested in buying saying, well, I want to hold out until I know all of these forbearances are going to turn into foreclosures and we're really going to come in there and get this great deal. And that's simply not the reality of what's going on. And also at the same time, I think that on the television shows, on everything, that they get a foreclosure deal is like, wow, now I can really take it. It's not like it is on TV, and most of the time, even in a market like right now, it's not the best deal after you consider closing cost, after you consider what it would take to get that property out of taxes or whatever else, and
all that too.
and up to present day selections.
Yeah. So I hope that was informative for you guys. We always want to bring you the facts. If you have any questions about your current property, if you have any questions about buying a property or selling a property in the Houston area, we're always here for you. Please reach out to us, and thank you guys. Have a great week.